Hey everyone, my name's Nathan Pay and welcome to Blu Ocean Crypto. So I got an interesting video for you all today. We finally had some communication in an interesting way. It was basically an update on the Farmersworld website about some things that they're currently working on and what's to come. Now, it's very interesting because back in February is when we last heard from the team. They basically went radio silent after that. And of course, there was a lot of FUD that really ensued after it. And the lack of communication did not help contribute to that very much. Now, one thing that I will give to the Farmersworld team some credit is the fact that their support was still operational. So if you had issues with the game, they would still respond and kind of help you work through it, but they wouldn't answer any questions about what was going on, if there's updates coming, things like that. And the last kind of movement we've seen is they did release the update a while back there, but it was a bit of a flop. A lot of people was not what people were expecting. There wasn't new features. It was just kind of a new way to operate the game. And they've really been silent since. And actually, I know some of you viewers have left some not so nice comments on some of the other videos, asking us why we're promoting scam game and things like that. And I understand that it's been tough, especially if you invested in this game during the last last run, and now you've seen it go down, you've lost your investment. Of course, that's hard on everybody. But I do want to remind you all that a lot of these play-to-earn titles are really trying to figure out how to navigate this bear versus bull and what's going on. And, you can take two sides, right? You can consider it a write-off and it's a total loss, or you can hold on, keep your conviction, and see what comes out on the other end. So what I want to show you now, we're just going to scroll down and go to the actual updates, right? So this is the main meat kind of what went on. It's definitely getting us excited. And you can see here, this was the last report in February, right? So it's pretty much been radio silence after that, except the update that they did. And I'm happy to see this, but of course it does leave a lot of questions. Now, first we can see the completed section. This is what they've already done. This is kind of behind us. They did game scripts, new characters, their smart contract was completed, the UI, beta, standard packs. This is where it gets interesting. So they talk about what they're working on now, which is crop cultivation. So farmers grow crops, they harvest them, they exchange fruits with others to complete a variety of fruit collections. Farmers are going to receive valuable rewards when acquiring all of the required fruits. What does this mean exactly? We're going to have to exchange between players. Maybe that's going to create a marketplace. You can only grow one type of fruit, so you're going to need to exchange with other players. Kind of interesting to see there. Because right now we can just grow barley and corn, which we actually have to use to feed our chickens and our cows, and that's it. They also talk about new characters and items. Now, in the Happy Farmersworld update, if you look at the top left, there actually is a profile picture where you can almost see a character. So, going to be interesting. Are they going to give us different productivity boosts, livestock boosts? What's the difference in those characters? And of course, what are these items that they're talking about? They're not mentioning NFTs, they're just mentioning items. So, not too sure. And then, of course, they talk about the mobile app, how they're developing it on iOS and Android platform to provide players with a fantastic brand new experience. Now, that could just be a marketing spin, PR thing, brand new experience. We don't know. But you can currently play the game on your phone. It's just you have to go to the website. So is the app really going to be that much different? This is what I guess you would say got me excited. So looking at the coming soon, they're talking about their initial DEX offering, or the IDO, coming up in November. So they're working with different partners and investment funds to prepare for that, and the listing of the Farmersworld tokens on different exchanges. And they talk about clashes. There's white and red tribes. They've discovered farming and they plan to conquer them. Aware of this threat, farmers now need to start forging weapons, recruiting warriors, joining forces to protect their farms against the dangerous intruders. It appears that devastating conflicts are seemingly inevitable. Now, does this mean there's going to be NPCs attacking your farm and you have to defend it? Or there's going to be a PvP and you have to build warriors and you send them out? It's an auto battler. Do you get to control it? Is it a base, attack, defense? There's a lot of questions there, but it is kind of interesting to see that they want to take that route. Then they talk about this ecosystem. So they say that players can easily switch resources between Farmersworld and other games. So for example, players can bring their land and troops in other games to Farmersworld and vice versa. Well, what games? Are you developing other games? Is this a metaverse? Are you working with partnerships with other games? Gonna be curious to see what the spin is there, or maybe that's kind of we've got 3 new games we're developing and it's going to be interchangeable with this. It's kind of common for us to see projects promise that, but how it actually goes, I'm not sure. And then I would say probably the thing that I got the most excited about is the land. So before I get to that section though, I just want to talk a little bit more about what we covered. We talked about how there's a new mobile app being developed, there's new characters and items, they've got the initial decks offering, the PvP and the ecosystem. And then of course the fruits. But here's the key point. After mining gold, which is one of the 3 tokens of their 3 tokenomics, farmers will find ways to buy new land on which they build their farms. So what this tells me is we're going to be able to use our already collected resources that for people who've played back then or continue to play and continue to stockpile are going to be able to use that to purchase land. It's not just going to be a brand new NFT land sale and we've all got to spend our money and it goes right to the developers again. This is exciting for us as a game guild because we've stockpiled a treasury of this asset, gold. And if the land is interchangeable with other games, what does that mean for its value? And like I said, we've really heard nothing from these guys since February. And that's really what's gotten kind of a lot of people to hit the eject button and kind of write this game off as a rug pull. But like I said, the support was still active. We finally see an update now. So there is a glimmer of hope, right? And that's kind of where most people are at this. Either you're completely fudding it and you don't understand why I'm making this video or anyone is even still interested, or you're kind of holding on for that glimmer of hope. Or maybe you got involved recently and the price hasn't been so bad, so it's a good time to enter. And the promise of maybe new things coming actually means you could potentially turn a profit or make back your investment. But a lot of us who were involved in this game, and definitely the massive majority, got in way back when. November, December, January, when the costs were just crazy. It was actually very expensive to get involved in this game, but it had some of the best earning potentials out of any play-to-earn game, literally in the industry. And that's why it got so popular. Now, I want to show you guys a website called DappRadar. And if you don't know about DappRadar, I definitely recommend you use it. It ranks all these different dApps and shows you the volume, transactions, how many people are playing. It's definitely a great site. Now, sometimes I'm not 100% confident in all the information. I have found some discrepancies here and there, but it's still good to do some additional research. So if we just take a look at a 30-day period, what I want to bring your guys' attention to is more so the user base. We've still got close to 100,000 people actively playing this game. There's probably bots in there, sure, who knows? That would probably be someone's argument, half of them are bots. We don't know for sure, but there's still a lot of people playing. There's a lot of transactions happening. Now, the transactions is basically everything you do in the game, right? So you're mining, you're collecting, you're getting chicken eggs, all that. But it's still nice to see that there are actually quite a few people who are still playing this. Now, the price or the earnings is not so great right now. So just to be transparent with you guys, that's kind of where all this FUD is coming from. You can see we're like 1/100th of a penny or something crazy like that. But there was twice over the last year, back in September 21st and then December, where it was at 1 wax. So yes, it's super low now, but we've seen crazy price action in this game. I mean, I think its high point was like 7 point something wax, which around the time I think wax was worth like 50-60 cents USD. It's like $3.50 American per wood, when now it's like 1/100th of a penny. But I'm sure you guys can understand that's kind of why a lot of the FUD happened as this big, drop happened, which it did in all the play-to-earn games, right? Actually, if you look at most, look at Axie, look at all these other ones, Pegasus, they've all kind of done this similar thing. Now, what I want to talk to you guys about is vesting versus cliff, because Farmersworld, one thing that we do know is that their investors are going to be able to get their tokens come October. So what's going to happen, there's been a cliff basically for a year, so they can't touch their tokens. Then I don't know what the vesting period is. Generally, as you can see on the page here, there's usually a 1 year, 4 year. So investors don't get any tokens for the first year, and then slowly they get their tokens unlocked over a 4 year period. What I do know for sure, and what we've seen in documentation and information on their white paper and in their Discord, is that their investors are going to start to get their tokens this October. So here's my speculative guess. We've got the IDO coming in November. that keeps their investors happy because they know there's going to be price action and a push towards their game so that the investors can extract some of the liquidity and make a profit. But as a player, if we know that and we time things well as well, we can also take advantage of that price action. So it seems like there's actually a glimmer of hope potentially on the horizon for this game. Of course, nothing I say on this channel is financial advice. There's definitely a lot of people who lost a lot of money. But I know as a game guild, we're just excited to see something going on from the team and some communication. And if anyone on the Farmersworld team sees this video, that would be my biggest recommendation to you guys. Talk more with your community. Let us know what you're doing. I think that's going to make a big difference. So I hope this video was enjoyable and you guys got some information from it. Thanks so much for joining me today. And until next time, cheers.